Is academia toxic? You know, the truth is, it's probably true. It probably is very toxic. But I want to talk about that today. I want to give you a couple of stories and then how I actually process this and deal with it so that I can live a happy and healthy life. So, if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massack. I'm an associate professor of innovation and strategy, and I create this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. So, when I was in graduate school, I talk about this a lot. I lost hope with myself. I felt really down, and I thought it was only me, right? Like I thought I was the only one. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. I actually probably, I felt I was being very talented, and I was actually stretching this out and putting in the hard work of spending an extra couple of years of doing work, but that wasn't panning out for me. I worked a lot. I was really talented, right? Engineer, all these kind of things. And I thought that this was the right thing to do. But I realized after some time is that that's not what people viewed me as. And I began to internalize this as I was problematic, or I was kind of a troublemaker, or in the sense that, I was just a failure, right? And I was internalizing those things. So when I got out, I bumped into this one person that I was infatuated with. I thought this person was really talented. I'd read their work, and I thought that this was the most incredible, deep stuff I've ever heard. And then I met this person, and we began talking, and this person developed tears in their eyes because they were reflecting on their career. And I was like, this is really, really strange. Like, why? Right? Like, why are we creating this? Why does this actually happen? So in my view, I actually think for the most part, the majority of the time, that there really isn't a lot of toxicity. I think it's actually really isolating. And then the odd time that you bump into people, you do have negative reactions sometimes. And so what ends up happening, right? So you spend the majority of your time by yourself, and you're trying to work on something, and you hope to God that other people are going to be impressed with this thing because you spent so much time, and they look at it and then they're incredibly dismissive because they don't care. At the end of the day, they really do not care, and they don't care about you because they're trying to sort of promote themselves. And people view the whole game as a competition, right, where you are competing with everybody else, and you have to put on displays to show how important that you actually are inside. So what I have realized in how I have processed this and dealt with this is that I just walk forward. I say, screw you to the rest of the world. I don't say it in that kind of polite terms. And I walk forward, and I become happy and healthy. So one of the things that really, really frustrates me is the fact that I put out all these videos, and I talk to you, I try to walk you through all these problems, and yet many of you still haven't gone onto the platform, right? Onto the reciprocity platform. The E is written with a 3. And I do all of this all the time. And yet, it still is not resonating with you that I am desperate to get you to go on to that. Okay, so given that, right? So what can I possibly do in that scenario, right? First of all, I recognize that you're self-interested and you're worried about yourself, and that's okay. And that's where I let go, and I say, okay, it might not work this time, right? And it might not get you to think about other people in this moment and sort of release from how you feel inside, but that's okay. I'm just going to walk forward, and I'm going to be a happy and healthy person. So at this moment, that's where I'm going to say, I'm going to keep my boundaries up, and I'm going to think about how I can be happy and how I can be complete inside and do the things that are good and healthy. And I know that there's some basic things that we know that allow us to do healthy and happy things. And they're really simple, right? Like eat, have a decent meal, go for walks, get exercise, and then also spend some time with family and friends. And I recognize in academia that having family and friends is really, really difficult because it comes at a cost. And people would say that you're wasting your time to spend with family and friends. But that's where I have my boundaries up and I say, I'm okay to do that. I am going to take these steps forward and be okay with who I am going forward. And that's a really important thing for all of us to think about. How can I live my life and say I am okay inside and realize that I need these certain things, like I need to have some time off on the weekend. I need to eat a proper meal. I need to do these sort of basic human things. I need to spend time with my kids and my family, and I'm gonna just walk forward. I'm gonna say, I am good inside, and the rest of the world, I can't change you. And you're likely gonna judge me. You're likely gonna think that I'm problematic, but that's okay. I'm gonna walk forward, and I'm still going to spend some time to help out other people. I'm still gonna spend some time to make sure that I'm good inside, and I am going to walk forward and be me. And I think if you have that view, that you are good inside, that you don't need to prove to anybody, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, even now when I say this, I feel like jittery and weird and all that kind of stuff. Even now when I say this, I'm thinking, am I? Like there's no way to know this, but you just stand up and you just say, I am, and I'm gonna walk forward. So regardless of what people do, and they do this kind of thing, and they kind of look down on you and say how terrible you are and you're making all the wrong decisions, and that you're problematic, and that you haven't amounted to anything. Oh well. I just walk forward. I just do the old oh well, and I am sorry you feel that way. There's this wonderful Southern saying, and I've said this maybe a few times on this channel. I love it, and it's bless your heart. And what it means, for those of you who are not in the South, what it means is I can't change you. And I'm just gonna say, have a good day and keep going. So the only thing I can do is change myself. The only thing I can do is just have internal strength where I just walk forward. And I love who I am. I love other people around me that recognize me for me, and that they're genuine human beings, and they try to do good things. I'm gonna say, amazing, right? I'm still gonna get jealous sometimes if they get something that I don't, but that's me. I'm still going to, have all of these emotions, but that's okay. I am going to be confident inside, and I'm gonna walk forward, and regardless of what goes on and the comments you get and the isolation that you get, the sort of ostracism and all of that kind of stuff that you're going to experience, and all of you will experience this, you'll go through this, I'm just going to walk forward and say, I'm good. And I'm going to walk forward, and I'm going to say, I love who I am. So an important thing to be able to do that is to say, not only that I'm good, but to say, I'm not wedded to any particular thing. Nobody's got power over me. So if people start saying, you're not a good academic, oh well, I can go and find another job someplace else. And I'm totally fine with that. If people say that this is not the thing that you should be doing, oh well, I'm gonna go do something else. And I'm gonna love who I am by doing that particular thing. And I'm gonna make my world the way that I am. And I don't need to serve other people to impress them. I just need to walk forward and love myself. And the more that I think about that, and the more that I feel less desperate, right? Like detaching yourself from, does this matter? Right? Like, is this an actually important thing? And if the answer is particularly academia and all of those kind of things, and most of the time, no, right? Like, it doesn't matter. I could just walk away. But if I'm serving a purpose in this moment and I feel happy and healthy, I'm going to keep going with this thing. But if I get mistreated, or if somebody is putting me in a bad spot, I'm just going to walk away. I don't need to deal with that. I can be myself and be happy and healthy and be a decent person. And then everything else around me, I put up those cards and I say, I am going to walk forward and I'm going to love myself, and that's it. Really, it's such an important lesson to learn. It's just intensified in academia because the resources are really slim, and we've normalized this behavior of not being nice to each other and making sort of a competition thing. But we could change this. Why not? It starts with you. You can change it.